Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at these very interesting Easter dinosaur eggs that were recently found at Walmart. Again, these were sent my way very kindly thanks to Keith Olsen. He had recently sent me an awesome box full of stuff. If you haven't seen that unboxing video, make sure you check it out. I will actually include a link to the video in the description. So again, very cool video with a ton of really awesome 1/6 scale dinosaur collectibles that he has created himself, kind of recreating some classic dinosaur products of the past in 1/6 scale. But he also sent me these, and again, these are really interesting looking dinosaur eggs, and I actually have again the image here in the front that you can see what type of species are included. There are 6 different dinosaurs, and it's always a surprise as far as which one you're going to get. You just don't know exactly who is going to be inside, which can be at times quite frustrating, but at the same time it can also be exciting when you're opening it up and you're just really unsure of who exactly is awaiting you inside the egg. You never know exactly what dinosaur you're going to get, so that's pretty fun overall. But the actual images here on the side look really quite nice, and I actually feel like they kind of look like almost similar to like an old Jurassic Park poster. I remember there were like some size comparison posters of Jurassic Park, and they almost kind of resemble like the images of those, and especially that Rex. Like you can see the Rex there looks very kind of Rexy like, if you ask me. They're not perfect, of course, but I feel like they look fairly similar, and that is definitely one thing that, in my opinion, is quite the appealing factor of these eggs. But I'm going to open these 3 eggs right now, see which species we have included, and then we'll check them out from there. So if we actually take these 2 out of here, and I'm going to just rip this packaging off really quick, I will show you exactly how they look when you open them. So again, they come in this egg. The egg itself is fairly well detailed, but nothing incredible. I mean, there's not too much going on, but it has like some cracks and stuff, so it appears as though your dinosaur is hatching, of course. Fun little egg, but nothing incredible. And then when you actually open it up, they come in this little packet here with some slime included. And then you have just the pieces of the dinosaur within the slime. And I guess we'll go ahead, break this out of the slime. We're going to clear away the dinosaur from the slime because I'm not very interested in the slime itself. And then we'll see exactly who that is, although I have a hint there because I feel like I might see part of the... Oh, there, we definitely see who it is. It is the Triceratops. So we're going to go ahead, break our Triceratops out, and take a look at it. So here is our Triceratops from our little egg, and then we also actually have the Ankylosaurus, and we have the Stegosaurus as well. So unfortunately, we didn't get any carnivores. We got all herbivores with these 3 eggs right here. However, they definitely look quite cool, and I'm actually half tempted to go ahead and go search for some more of them to see if maybe I can acquire some of the other figures. I would love to get the other 3 to include in this review. So actually, I think I'm going to go do that. So let me go ahead, see if I can get a hold of the others, and then we'll go from there. And as quickly as we left, we are back with the Pteranodon, who isn't going to stand, I would think not. Those are some very small legs. No, he ain't going to stand. And then we also have our Raptor, who does stand, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So we have the entire set right here of these Easter dinosaur figures, and they do really look quite cool, honestly. Like, pretty impressive overall as far as the sculpting factor goes. Obviously, none of these are to scale with each other, and none of them are super highly detailed models, but for what they are, like, they actually look pretty decent. You know, they could definitely get a lot worse. They have some surprisingly nice looking sculpts, and I'm going to show you that right now with a closer look. So we'll bring the Pteranodon in first, because I feel like the Pteranodon might be the weakest of all as far as these go. But you can again see as far as this Pteranodon goes, like, it looks pretty good detail-wise for something like this. Like, I'm pretty impressed by it overall. I mean, it does sport some okay detailing. Like, you can see the eyes and everything are sculpted out quite nicely. It's almost like a blank model that's awaiting some paint, because I feel like these would be pretty fun to actually repaint, give a little bit more of a lifelike look to them, which I may end up buying another set and doing just that. But you can see even the like skin flaps here of the wings, although they don't actually connect to the body, because again, you have to connect the pieces. It comes with everything disconnected, and then you have to connect them. They probably could have done a better job as far as the Pteranodon goes and actually connecting like the skin to the body, making it look kind of like it connects at least, but this one more so almost looks like a man in a suit type of a look for a Pteranodon, which I actually do quite like. It always reminds me of the movie At the Earth's Core, because there are like some Rhamphorhynchus in that film where it's basically just a guy in a suit, and it always is like something that I can relate to from my childhood, so I always kind of like that appearance of like Pteranodon and stuff like that. But you can again see, like, if we get nice and close and you can get the camera to focus, you can again see some like nice texturing and stuff to the skin here of our pterosaur, and you can also see some nice detailing down the back. And then once the limbs are all connected, you can technically articulate them so that you can have the pterosaur pretty much look however you would like. And another one of the appeal factors of these figures is you can actually take the parts off and then kind of create your own hybrids, so you can take parts of the Pteranodon and apply them to the T-Rex and maybe give the T-Rex wings and stuff like that if you would really like to. You can also, articulate the head, you can articulate the legs, so it is pretty cool, I will say that, and they're only $4 each at Walmart, so it's a pretty cheap price for something fun like this. And then we have the Ankylosaurus, which isn't the best, but honestly, like, if you look at it, you can see some nice texturing to the skin. Like, it overall has a pretty highly detailed sculpt. You're not seeing much as far as, like, skin stretching off of the body or anything like that, because of course, again, the pieces come separated and you have to apply them. Like, the tail is totally separate, and then you just put it in the little hole there and then you apply it. The only problem is you sometimes have like these little gaps that show up, so if you're going to repaint these, I would recommend gluing them so that the pieces stay together a little more firmly. But the sculpt again is not bad as far as like the detailing aspect goes. The top, the kind of more armored area of the Ankylosaurus, doesn't sport too much detail, but it looks, decent for what it is, again, being a cheap, like, $4 figure. You can see a pretty nice looking appearance to the head sculpt. You've got the nostrils sculpted out, the eyes sculpted out, and I actually think like a nice dark wash would make the skin detail here pop quite nicely, because again, there's actually some really nice texturing to it. And this is definitely a figure I think could benefit from a nice wash. Again, something that without question deserves a repaint, because these are actually pretty decent detail-wise. Then we've got the Triceratops, and you can see again, definitely not your most accurate-looking Triceratops. Actually almost looks like he's had his head squished a little bit, like he's got a flat head, but he's still pretty decent-looking detail-wise. Again, none of these are going to be, accurate dinosaurs. You're just not going to find that here. But look at the really cool osteoderm-like look to the Triceratops. You can see, again, lots of really nice texturing to the skin overall, and the very cool osteoderm-like look. Really, again, pretty much asking for a repaint, and you can see that the head can articulate, and the legs can articulate, and the tail can articulate. Again, it all can swivel, and you can just take them off and then put them back on, replace them with body parts of a different dinosaur if you would like, and create your own Stegosaurus if you'd really like. But you can again see that detail-wise, it's pretty nice looking. Accuracy-wise, not so much, but even the underside here actually sports some nice detailing to it. And I am very impressed with these for being only $4 Easter figures. I'm really glad that Keith not only sent some to me, but also just kind of in general informed me of them being there, because I probably would have missed them completely. And then we have the Stegosaurus, which is definitely not the most appealing. Boy, his leg doesn't want to come back up here. Definitely not the most appealing Stegosaurus in history, that's for sure. But head sculpt, if we can focus on it, looks interesting. It's just really hard to focus on these guys at times because they're such bright colors. Like, they're really like bright green, bright orange. This one's a very bright yellow. My camera doesn't seem to want to pick up on it too well. But again, detail-wise, the Stegosaurus looks okay. I'm not a huge fan of the plates up here on the back. I don't really like the way they look. You can see they're just not really all that appealing looking as far as the plates go. You do have the thagomizers out here at the end of the tail, but they're obviously a little too far apart from each other. The plates don't run down the tail very far to where they probably should be. So again, accuracy is not something we shouldn't even really be talking about it when it comes to these figures, but certain things like that just kind of bother me a little bit too much. But the sculpt again is pretty nice looking. It's got very similar texturing to the others in the line here as far as the Ankylosaurus and Triceratops, but still a very appealing, very highly detailed looking texturing to the skin and sculpt overall. But again, I'm not a huge fan of the herbivores, but they're not terrible either. I would say my favorite would probably be the Ankylosaurus, and maybe this one, then the Triceratops. It's tough to tell, but this one definitely has a decent appearance, especially being a random $4 figure, but it's pretty much aching for some better paint application on it. And then we have the Raptor, and the Raptor is very interesting looking. Initially, I thought it kind of looked like a Jurassic Park Raptor from the silhouette image on the outside of the egg, but here, obviously, out of the packaging, it doesn't look like a JP Raptor, but it obviously has a very scaly type of a look to it, and a very highly detailed sculpt yet again. Like, you can even see musculature sculpted out in the calf region, and pretty nice looking head sculpt, not accurate in any way, shape, or form, but nice looking regardless as far as the way that they've sculpted it out. Very almost like a vintage type of a Deinonychus-like sculpt or something like that, which maybe it's actually meant to imply it's a Deinonychus. I don't really know, because they don't give you a species name with it. They just kind of give you a dinosaur, and I guess it's up to you to decide what it is. But again, you can see here on the back, like, the texturing to the skin is quite nice, and you can just generally see like the structure of the body pretty well within the sculpt. Some nice skin texture. That's one of the most impressive aspects of these figures, is really how good the texturing of the skin is on each and every one of them. And this is definitely another really nice one as far as that goes. You can see the sickle claw. The feet aren't really all that accurate, like especially where the placement of the sickle claw is. You could see that it's not at all correctly placed. I don't know why I keep going back to accuracy when it comes to these figures, because again, they're very, very inaccurate. You can actually see the dupli is sculpted out back there, though. So, like, they really went the extra mile in certain aspects as far as creating a nicely detailed figure for just random kids to have. But definitely a line that I feel like is worth collecting, because they're really cool overall. And then we have our Tyrannosaurus, and again, it's not the perfect representation of the JP-style Rex, but definitely looks like a JP-style Rex overall. The area I think that bugs me the most is the mouth, because the teeth are really small, so you can't really see them, and in certain views it almost looks like he doesn't have teeth, especially if you get a little further away. Like, you almost can't even see the teeth now in the mouth, but they are there. They are actually sculpted out and almost appear to be sculpted out individually, yes, which is a pretty impressive aspect of this figure. You can see again the inside of the mouth doesn't really sport any detail. We do have a little bit of a tongue there, but there's not much else going on detail-wise in the mouth. But again, very highly detailed is a very nice way of putting it as far as these figures go. You can see that the texturing of the skin looks really good on this. You even have scoots down the foot, down the toes, all of that. Really, really nice skin texture out here on the tail. As we move out the length of the tail, nice curve to the tail as well. Beautifully textured skin as we run up the course of the back. And of course the figures are in total neutral positions, every single one, so you're not really going to see any difference over here compared to what we had just seen on the previous side. But again, very impressive. I really was quite impressed when I initially opened that Triceratops from these figures, the ones that, Keith Olsen had sent me. I was really quite impressed with those first three at my initial viewing, and I was really interested in picking up the others. So I went ahead and just bought a whole bunch of the eggs so that I could acquire all of them in time for this review, and I'm definitely happy with these figures now. Really cool looking overall, and quite nicely detailed for being just cheap Easter egg dinosaurs. And again, a huge thank you goes out to Keith for sending those initial three over to me, getting me interested in this line, and I now am happy to have all of them, again thanks to him. Now, although they do sport some really nice detail overall, they're also really quite small, and personally, I feel like they're really nicely sized. I'm not going to measure each and every one, but you can see again roughly what an idea is as far as the size. I will measure like the length of the Ankylosaurus is right around the 4-inch range, or 10 centimeters. Here is actually a Mattel Jurassic World minifigure. You can see the mini Triceratops right here, and if we put it next to the Easter egg version, you can see that the Easter egg version is a little bit smaller, but the size difference isn't too drastic. Like, they're not too far off when it comes to a size difference, and you should hopefully have an idea of that. Again, showing you that they are pretty small, but they're similarly sized to the Mattel minis. And then for a second size comparison, there is the Papo T-Rex, Robert Muldoon, and the Mattel Attack Pack Ankylosaurus, all here next to our minis. And again, with these guys here in comparison, you definitely have a pretty good idea, I would hope, of the fact that they are quite small. But again, also showing you that they are in that similar size range to the Mattel minifigures. And again, showing you what I was talking about, how you can create your own basically hybrids and stuff. We've now very easily and simply created a Stegosaurus right here as far as the Triceratops head with the Stegosaurus body. It didn't take much to create a very cool hybrid, and you can take each and every one of these dinosaurs, kind of jumble them together, and create whatever crazy hybrid you would like. So I really think that's a very fun aspect to these figures, giving them a very strong appeal factor for the simple fact that you can create very interesting hybrids. So if you're interested in basically creating your own Stegosaurus, this is a really good line to go ahead and collect and pick up, and with there only being 6 figures, it's not like it's going to take too much time and too much money to acquire all of them, and they are pretty fun overall. So these very cool Easter egg dinosaurs currently at Walmart are definitely worth a purchase if you ask me. If you're into kind of Jurassic World mini-style figures, these are definitely some pretty fun, sort of Jurassic-inspired minifigures. The Rex is definitely Jurassic Park-inspired, and nothing that anyone says will convince me otherwise of that. The Raptor kind of looks Jurassic Park-ish, but the head sculpt is a little bit different. The others, those are just kind of up in the air. I don't know exactly what the inspiration is for those. Maybe it is Jurassic Park for all of them. I don't really know, but regardless, I still think each and every one of the figures, they're pretty nice overall. Again, for being really cheap dinos at Walmart, they're not too bad as far as the detailing aspect goes, and especially considering they're only released for Easter and then they're going to go away, they, in my opinion, should have a pretty strong appeal factor based off of the collectability of them, because they're going to be something that you're not going to see very often. They're not going to be readily available very often, and they're overall pretty highly detailed sculpts, and having that similar look to a Jurassic Park style dinosaur with some of them, again, I think that there is definitely a pretty strong fan base out there that would like to have these in their collection. So I really wanted to get them reviewed and up right away so that I can get them to you as far as this review. I can get this review out to you guys before they go away, so you have a chance to actually go collect them really quickly before Easter is over, and you can purchase yourself some of these really cool, again, Easter dinosaur figures. They're not accurate. None of these are accurate in any way, shape, or form, but each one sports a really nicely, highly detailed sculpt with some pretty fun articulation, because again, each figure has to get put together, and you can swivel all of the body parts so that they don't have to stay in the stagnant pose of just looking like a standard dinosaur silhouette pretty much. You can articulate them to give them a little bit more life than the poses that they come in. And then you can also, of course, switch out the body parts to create crazy dinosaur hybrids. It's really up to you, but each one definitely a very cool figure. And again, a huge thank you goes out to Keith Olsen for sending me 3 of these over, getting me some herbivores straight away, and showing me how nice these figures are, and then again, persuading me pretty much to go pick up the others, because they're all really cool. And again, I really recommend, if you are interested, heading to Walmart right away, picking some of these up before they are gone after the Easter holiday. So if you are interested in these, make sure you head to Walmart, pick up some of these very cool dinosaurs today, and make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.